It is the worst of the RIOT podcast. What is today? July 5th?
Yeah.
Yesterday, July 4th. If you recognize that voice.
I just want people to be like, wait, am I listening to an old show? Or did I click on a wrong thing?
They did a replay today. No.
Hi.
Nikki is back, filling in for Hudson.
Yes.
We joked about on Monday, I told Hudson as we were doing the podcast, I said, people have been texting in, people have been calling. They're so excited for the back end of this week. They're going to be the best shows they've heard in months because it's the combination of everybody's two favorites. Nikki
and
me.
Yay!
We kick Hudson out, and the show went fantastically today. Nikki back from her little vacation for the week.
I'm not back. I came for this. I don't want people to be like extra sad after the few days I'll be here.
Like you're leaving again?
Yeah, like I'm just filling in. I'm not back forever.
Yeah.
So don't, get all your hopes up with that. But I am just filling in. So I'll be here, today's show, tomorrow, and Friday. But it was so cute. We do something on Wednesday called the Battle of the Buzz, which does not make it way into the podcast. And Hudson's mom was texting to vote for it. And we were joking. You're like, oh, she's obviously not listening for Hudson.
No, she's never been listening for Hudson.
And if I'm not always in, I think she's listening for you.
Exactly. It must be for me. It makes sense.
So congratulations.
Yeah, it was a good show today. And in the podcast intro, I think we should ask, is there anything that you've learned since you've moved? Like, what have been the most shocking things about not living here anymore, living down in Florida?
Okay, so I live in Florida. I live on the Gulf side, so I'm in a beach area. Man, it is a different world. Like, it is a vacation land, so I feel like everything's harder. And I don't know if that is what do you mean it's harder? It's like it's hot. Everything is more extreme.
That makes it harder in general.
It is. Like I told Isaiah, like the real Florida people who've been there like their whole lives, man, they're a tough crowd. They're very tough. And there are alligators everywhere. Like I have alligators around my house. They just walk around. It was weird. One day there was a alligator trying to kill a bunny in the road.
No.
And so Eric was trying to shoo the bunny away.
Shoo the bunny while the alligator's coming.
And there's where my mailbox is, there's some bushes and there's always these turtles. And you're like, oh, that's so nice. Like sensitive Nikki's like, look at the turtle.
So cute.
No, it'll take your finger off. Like there's warnings about these turtles and they're very vicious. And the other day there's a big bald eagle just on the road.
So lots of wildlife that circle your house.
It's crazy. Eric's, while I'm here, Eric is still in Florida, and his parents came to go hang out for the week, and we have a camper, so we set them up by the water, and it was so cute. There, right on their little deck, were baby manatees. And I'm just
gosh, which I didn't even know that was a thing in Florida.
Manatees?
Like a little manatees?
That's where they are.
I didn't know that.
It was just so cute. I was like, where do I live?
What kind of forest am I in?
A house down in the next neighborhood, it had a huge bobcat by its pool, and like those are big bobcats and panthers. I haven't seen a bear yet, but like there's some big stuff there.
It's only a matter of time.
I'm gonna get bit. I'm gonna get eaten. It could be a shark.
So let me ask you this thing, because I know that you have the 3 pups down there.
Yeah,
Rolo, Sugar, Cinnamon, right?
Yes, and my cat Mochi.
And Mochi. So do you walk your dogs?
No, you don't normally.
I was about to say, do you let them outside?
I have a pool, which. It's very nice, by the way. That's wonderful.
We get it.
That's wonderful. That is good. So they go out there, around there, because you can't let them out themselves in case I have an alligator behind our house that he just stays at the lake. But it's also too hot. You can't walk them. It burns their feet.
Oh, their feet on the ground. I didn't even think about that.
So they can get blisters really bad. So people don't walk their dogs. You take them to the dog beach. So Eric will take them over to the beach.
Oh, that sounds like way more fun. I don't walk Jimmy either, but that's also...
You don't? Do you take Jim to the dog beach?
Yeah. We go to the dog beach thing. The ground's hard. He has really soft paws, so we have a similar thing going on up here in the cold.
I thought so. I thought that's why you didn't walk him.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that other people weren't doing it too.
No.
But I'm glad to hear that you're adjusting well, but we're glad to have you filling in this week, so make sure you don't miss today, tomorrow, or Friday's podcast, because Nikki will be showing herself in all 3 of those.
Yeah, so please make sure you say hi in the comments. I missed everybody, so it's good to be back.
And we will let the rest of the podcast say what it will.
All right.
We'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The RIOT on RadioU.
Happy Wednesday. And I'm very happy to announce who's sitting across from me today, and that is not Hudson. Thank goodness.
Hey, Hudson's out of here.
It's Nikki who's back. And I was thinking, too, because we get texts every day asking us, like, where's Nikki at?
Yeah.
And so this is, like, the perfect way to really confuse them.
Just mess them up enough.
They're like, so is Nikki back, or what is she doing? Why is she here?
Well, I wasn't sure if you mentioned, like, because I know Hudson's on vacation for the rest of this week, so I came back to fill in, and I didn't know if everybody knew I was filling in or if this was a surprise.
See, I thought that it was, like, something that we would talk about throughout, like, the week.
Yeah.
And we, like, mentioned it a little bit on Monday, and then yesterday was the 4th of July, and so I was on the phone.
You didn't come in yesterday to talk about me coming in today?
Hey, just so everybody knows, I'm going to come in special to talk about Nikki. She's going to be back tomorrow.
Well, I thought you cared.
Yeah, my mom asked me this morning on the way, and I was talking to her on the phone, and she said, like, do people know that Nikki's coming back? Did you guys make it a big thing? And I was like, to be honest, I think everybody kind of forgot. She was like, because I was listening on Monday, and she was like, I thought you guys mentioned it, but also yesterday everybody had, like, plans and things going on.
I figured just enough time passed from Monday to today that I was like, no, I bet, they didn't talk about it too much.
Yeah, we talked about it on Monday, but yesterday, I'm sure everybody wiped their minds because of 4th of July festivities and
surprise.
funness. I know, what a great surprise on a Wednesday. It feels like it's such a short week too.
Happy July 5th. It's Nikki Day.
What a great day to come back.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The worst of the riot. Radio U.
And there's many a times on this show where we tell you guys about deals on holidays that usually are super crappy.
Yeah.
Whether it's like a national holiday or like it's National Burger Day, usually McDonald's will give you like on the mobile app only, you get like 10 cents off a burger. But this time...
No, you get free fries.
Yeah, you get the free fry that you always get anyway. And this time, Sheetz, for the 4th of July, gave a deal that was actually monumental.
So Sheetz is a regional gas station, mostly East Coast. I don't think they have anything West Coast.
Yeah.
And I was flying yesterday in to come back to fill in for Hudson. And I saw everyone going to Sheetz yesterday because it was their 4th of July thing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I wish I could.
I know. It was when I was driving yesterday to my parents' house for the 4th of July, I knew that this deal was happening because my mom texted me on what would have been Monday night. And she said, tomorrow, Sheetz is doing a thing where they're making gas $1.77 a gallon.
Yeah.
Which is essentially half off. Like, usually it's like around $3.40 or so in many of the areas that Sheetz are at. And so I was driving home, and I already knew that I didn't need gas because on Monday I filled all the way up.
You should have done that.
I know. And so I filled up all the way up, and my mom had texted me Monday night, and she was like, hey, Sheetz is doing a thing tomorrow, $1.77. I was like, well, I have a full tank. Like, I can't even
You should have siphoned that out.
I know.
And then gone and got more gas.
And so I was on the way home, and I passed the Sheetz on the way home, and I was like 3 stoplights away from the Sheetz. And for whatever reason, there was like this huge line of traffic. And I was like, what the heck is this? It was a 2-lane road. The left lane was completely backed up. And I was like, what's happening right now? Like, it's like noon on a Tuesday, the 4th of July. Like, why is there so much traffic? And then so I got in the right lane, and I realized that the line for Sheetz had started on the main road like 3 lights away. Like, It was so ridiculously long. They had like guys that were out there like surveying traffic and telling you where to go because the lines were so incredibly long.
I saw so many people take advantage of that, which was good because it was all the gas levels.
Yeah,
like,
it was everything.
It wasn't just the lowest one. It was all of them. But I felt bad because, I mean, if you're working on a holiday, that's awful.
Yeah, it stinks anyway.
But if you're working on a holiday and they do a promotion like this, that's even worse.
You know, the Sheetz workers like, are you serious?
Like, we're doing what?
They're like, they probably conned me into working on July 4th. They were like, you have to work a holiday. This is the one that I chose.
Yeah.
And then a day before, they're like, you know what? We're going to do a major deal. And you're like, this is going to be a terrible holiday for me.
I don't know if they've ever done, like, Sheetz, if they've ever done that before as a marketing thing, but it was genius. So it was $1.776 a gallon, so $17.76.
Yeah, and you have to think, like, because I was driving by, like, gas stations, and anybody that was getting gas, I was like, do they not know?
No, like you said you saw people across
they were
the
right
Turkey
across
Hill.
the street of Turkey Hill. And you know the people that are across there have no idea that Sheetz is doing this deal. and they're filling up, and they're like, why is there such a long line over there?
What are they
Like,
doing?
why would they not just come over here to Turkey Hill? Like, why would they not come over here?
Well, that was the wrong move, but yeah, everybody seemed to enjoy. That was a very good holiday promotion. I feel like it's been a while since we saw a company do that.
Yeah, and if you went through, text in 8772 Radio, you let us know how long you waited for your gas.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
If you've been dying for another social media, it is time to have a second Twitter.
Maybe. Oh, I know. Whenever they say it's going to be like a other social media killer.
Yeah, exactly. It never is.
Never is.
And so essentially Meta or Instagram, Facebook,
yeah.
all that jazz are creating a new social media that's similar to Twitter.
So it comes out tomorrow and it's called Threads. And it's supposed to be what they say is Instagram's version of a text-based conversation app.
Which is like the same thing as Twitter, essentially.
Yeah, so just posting with words.
Yeah, and I think about, too, like when they advertise this, like obviously Twitter's going through its stuff with Elon Musk and all these changes to it with like only being able to view so many tweets and only being able to pay for certain things to get certain content and whatnot. And so Facebook's essentially trying to take this time to take over Twitter, which is there's no chance.
There's nothing to take over.
Yeah, like what are you taking over? Like Twitter already. Like if I get on Twitter, it's for news or sports or whatever it is. But I used to get on it way more than I do now.
Oh, is it still good for sports? I guess it would be.
It is, yeah. Because like whenever like NFL season's going on or college football, if I want to see people talking about the game, it's like a really easy place where like reporters and people will like put information out and people will comment on it. So it's an easy place to get information.
It's still used. Like if you go to Radio U, you follow us for our Twitter. It's actually really good for band news.
Yes.
Bands still do a good amount of stuff. But outside of like personally for social media, I don't know if we need another one.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll still download it and try it, but
yeah, that's what I was thinking too. When they like put this out, I was like, oh, this is the Twitter killer. This is the new Twitter. I'm like, why wouldn't you just make a new social media? Like, why would you make something that's already been done? Isn't that the point? Aren't you supposed to do things that are different?
Well, it's not. I mean, it's more just because, Instagram is still picture or like story driven.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be their text driven sort of world. But they say that, it'll be very much integrated with Instagram to where you can follow the same accounts and then hop over onto Threads. So it's supposed to come out tomorrow.
Yeah, I wonder too, like when I look at this here, like, I mean, obviously it's probably going to have a different look, it's probably going to look more similar to Instagram than Twitter does.
It looks the same.
Yeah, it's going to look the exact same.
No, I'm looking at the screenshots. It looks pretty similar.
To Twitter?
Yeah, no, to
Instagram.
To
yeah.
Instagram,
yeah. Because I feel like they could have just like added this in to the Instagram app.
Yeah, they could have.
Like they could have had its own page on because they already have added so much to Instagram as is. But I guess maybe it needs a whole new thing. I feel like it's only a matter of time before Elon Musk talks about it. He's gonna send out a tweet, right? Like
Sure
there's no chance that he's gonna go like more than a week after this releases and he's gonna try to call it a failure right away.
Crumble.
I guarantee it.
Well, if you are interested in Threads, it does come out tomorrow, but there are codes that you can use to download it ahead of time and, play around with it early. A day early if you'd like.
Yeah, if you'd like to. Like what's it gonna be called? Like a thread? Like I'm putting out a thread, I guess?
Oh, you
like
mean
a tweet?
Oh, like a tweet to that. Yeah, maybe. Did you write your thread?
Have you threaded yet today? That's what it's going to be, right?
I think that's perfect.
Have we been threading?
It sounds ridiculous.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The worst of the riot. Radio U.
Text in 8772 Radio U. We're talking about movie franchises that have went on for too long because of the Indiana Jones movie that came out over the weekend not performing like they had hoped it would, and people questioning now, should they have made this movie? Could they possibly make another? And so we want to hear from you guys to hear what you think. What movie franchises should have ended 1, 2, or maybe 3 movies earlier?
Now, unless I Googled wrong, do you know how many indie movies there are?
What is it, like 5?
5. You got it.
Oh, look at that. That was a good guess, huh?
Hey. All right, here's another question. This is turned into how many movies has it been?
Yes.
You mentioned Fast and Furious as a franchise people have long said it's too long.
Way too long.
But it still makes money.
It does.
So that's the question. How many Fast and Furious?
We have to be at 11?
11? Yeah!
Is it 11?
Ding, 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 ding,
That's impressive. That's impressive.
And then the 12th one does come out April of 2025.
Oh my
So that is for sure. Owen mentioned, if you were younger and you remembered, Land Before Time.
Which was good.
The dinosaur movies.
I liked them when I was little.
I didn't know there was other ones, but there's 14 of them.
14?
14 Land Before Time movies.
Movies?
Yep, movies.
The first one came out in 1988. And I remember, I only remember watching it one. I mean, I probably watched it a bunch of times, but I don't know any of the storylines of the movies. I just remember watching it.
The little
and
dinosaurs.
The little dinosaurs being
So
cute.
Regina still loves, because you were asking what would be franchises you're kind of done with.
Yeah.
But Regina said she still loves Scream. So Scream is currently sitting at 6 movies.
We're getting close.
And they said that she believes that maybe others would say it's been too many.
But she thinks it's okay.
She thinks it's still good, but I think it walks the line. So some of the other longer franchises, any other guesses?
I know that people would say one of the ones that I said was Transformers.
Which I
know
still think that's low.
They just came out with a new one this past a week or two ago, which I haven't seen yet. It looks okay, but after the first one was so good and so epic, and even the second one I was still really on for, and then once we got to the fourth or fifth one, I was like, I think this could end. Yeah, I love the first ones, but now it's to the point where I'm like, no.
Well, some of the other bigger, longer franchises for movies, Star Wars.
Of course, yes.
Something called, I know what it is, Gamera, which was the Godzilla monster stuff.
Okay, yep.
But it's not the Godzilla ones.
It's the different ones.
So Gamera had a bunch of movies. Star Trek clocks in, I think, at 13 movies.
That's a lot
for it.
But you can't you can't be the guy who's Star Wars should have less movies. People will pronounce you dead if you say that.
They
it's
still
over.
love it. And we're counting movies because some still have TV shows that are attached to it. Spider-Man has quite a few. Of course, they say the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It is a lot. It's a lot.
I think it's 36.
It's a lot to handle.
James Bond, 27 or 28.
27 James Bond movies.
And you remember The Mummy?
The Mummy? It sounds familiar.
So The Mummy, I guess, started, it has 19 movies to it. I only remember
oh, yeah, I see
the
this
one
here.
guy, Brandon Fraser. Mm-hmm. So they say there's 19 movies, but they started Mummy movies back in 1932.
Yeah, it's a lot. It seems like a lot. I mean, if you have The Mummy, that's what I think about James Bond, too. I know people love James Bond. 26 movies seems crazy. That seems like way too many.
It doesn't seem crazy.
It seems wild.
It is crazy.
It is crazy. I mean, how many storylines could you make? The other one that I had, and people are going to be mad at me for this, but that's okay, is this it didn't even go on for a long time, but this was just one movie too many, and that was Toy Story 4.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be the one to say it.
I 100% agree
It should have
with
ended
you.
at 3.
4 was worthless.
It was why did we even make 4? It had such a great ending at 3. Why would they even do that to
You're
us?
not the only one saying that.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I love Toy Story. I want more of it, but at that point, it was after 3, after Andy gave away his toys, how do you make another movie?
It ruined the whole thing.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
It's Would You Rather Wednesday, and today is a Nikki edition of Would You Rather Wednesday.
Oh, it's a question I can help with?
Yeah, we curated this one specially for you so that you would have an answer, right?
Okay.
And so today's, would you rather live in your favorite tropical vacation spot all the time? Or you can have a vacation home there and then live somewhere else.
Oh, to go to the vacation home?
Yeah, so you can have your vacation house in Hawaii or whatever, and then you can live in Ohio or in Kentucky or in somewhere else, maybe where your family lives, but you still have that vacation home, or you can just live there.
That's a good
in your
question.
vacation spot.
Is this because I live in Florida?
You
on
seem
the
to live in a
beach?
tropical place that maybe some people would consider a vacation home, and so that would be something that maybe you would feel as if you have an answer to.
So feel free to answer which would you rather for today's Wednesday's question at 877-2-RADIO-U. Live in your favorite tropical vacation spot, or would you rather have a vacation home and visit but live somewhere else?
See, because when I think about this too, it makes me think for people that do live in tropical places, if you lived in Hawaii, where would you go on vacation?
I don't think you would go on vacation.
Like, would you just stay there?
I think you only go if you go to see family who doesn't live on Hawaii with you.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, if you lived in Hawaii or if you lived in, like, a really cool place, number one, I feel like the rent and stuff, everything would be so expensive. Would you even have money to travel on
Probably
vacation?
not. But you live in the vacation spot.
Yeah, exactly. You live in, like, the fun zone. Like, you can go to the beach, do whatever, so you wouldn't have to really think about, like, going on vacation, because if you just have a weekend off,
you
could just like spend time outside.
Well,
in the
let me
tropical
get
weather.
everybody's answer.
Yeah.
And then I'll give you my answer since I'm a month into living in Florida.
Now you know.
Now I know. Is it a tropical vacation spot and you want to live there all the time, which is what everybody dreams about?
Yes.
Or do you just want a vacation, which people also dream about?
Exactly. So we'll come back from
But
the
you live
break.
somewhere else.
We'll give Nikki's answer on the Would You Rather Wednesday. We'll hear from you guys as well.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow at RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Today's Would You Rather live in your favorite tropical vacation spot or have a vacation home and live somewhere else?
So Kendrick said he lived in a tropical vacation spot in South Carolina for 3 years, just moved back to Ohio. Living in a vacation spot and vacationing in a vacation spot are two very different things. So he is going with choosing a vacation home, but you get to live somewhere else.
Fair enough. I understand that.
So he's going with that. Shrew says live elsewhere with the vacation home and then rent it when you're not
Shrew's a
there.
Money maker. All right. That's
That is
smart, you know.
smart.
I like it.
Jonathan says, as a redhead, I don't want to live in the vacation area or the tropics. And so I asked him, I was like, okay, well, where would you want a vacation home? And he's chose Alaska.
Well, that makes sense. You know, you're safe there.
Yeah,
it
you
seems as if
are.
it's a safe place for
I mean,
you.
I think that'd be beautiful, but I can't imagine. You're like, where are you vacationing?
I got to get that flight to Alaska.
I'm going to my home in Alaska.
You know, just up there in the corner.
So you guys got to tell us if you'd rather live in your favorite vacation spot or have a vacation home instead, but live somewhere else more normal.
Yeah, it seems as if the first few texts that came through, people are wanting a vacation home, living somewhere else. Now, for me, I think that I would pick living in the vacation spot.
You think you want to?
And my reasoning would be because my family has like a vacation home somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. And you have a vacation home, but you always say that you're going to go to it way more than you end up going to it.
No one ever does.
And so, like, my family, like, we have this vacation home, but we go down there, like, once a year. My parents go down more, but for me, like, I don't get to utilize it.
Yeah.
Like, I always say that I'm going to because getting a flight or whatever, you're just always so busy to where, like, planning a weekend to get down there is never as easy as it seems when you first get it.
Have you talked to your parents about it not working out for you?
Yeah, I feel
for
like this
their
isn't-
vacation home?
I feel like this isn't working in my favor, even though I could go down there whenever I want, but at the same time,
I really
just
want
never
to be in that meeting.
Yeah, I never find the time to go, and so I don't feel like I'm utilizing it as I should be. So
Well-
maybe I should just live there.
Okay, so I live in Florida now, and I live a few miles from the beach. So I live in a vacation place. But you want to hear some of the downfalls to it?
Let's hear it.
It is hot all the time. Like it's
Shocker.
and I know you're like
Nikki.
when you go on vacation, you're like, oh, it's so hot, it's great.
Feels so good. I want to bake.
When you live there and it's nothing but it's 95 all the time where I'm at is crazy. It's
just, like,
absolutely crazy.
Gets old, huh?
It gets old. Food is extremely expensive, like restaurants, because they cater to most people are there on vacation, and you spend more money when you're on vacation.
'Cause it
on
doesn't
food,
matter,
'cause
you
it
know?
doesn't matter.
When you're on vacation, you're like, oh, well, we're on vacation, so I guess this makes sense.
But when you live there, it does matter.
You're like, this
Because you
is,
can't.
doesn't seem fair for me.
Things close down during off season. So again, I live off the Gulf, and a lot of stuff closes during the summer. So like 4th of July was yesterday when I flew out. Everything was closed for like 2-3 weeks because they're just vacationing, going somewhere else.
Yes, makes sense.
And it's just so expensive because everything is built around vacationing.
Well, Nikki, I know people will probably text in and be like, well, Nikki, if you'd like,
Oh, you want to trade places?
you could just come back to Radio U if you want to come back here.
I didn't tell you the pros.
Yes. Nikki's like, there's a lot of pros too, okay? I'm not saying that I don't love it.
Well, it's the Would
just
You
saying
Rather
it's
Wednesday
hot.
question. Would you rather live in your favorite tropical vacation spot or have a vacation home and live somewhere else? That's the other downfall. I have no neighbors. Literally,
Yeah.
everyone in my neighborhood rents their place out.
Oh, so you have randoms who come in every week.
You have randoms every time, or it's not just randoms, it's family members of the people who own
yes.
it. And so you constantly just have new people every day.
And they're like having the time of their life because they're on vacation. And you're
Yep.
like, this is like a typical Tuesday for me.
it's like, could you just tone it down?
yeah,
You're
like
loud.
calm down. I get it that you're excited excited because you're down here for the weekend, but like this is a normal Friday for
So I
me.
think a lot of people probably would choose, though, based on your guys' text about having a vacation home, if you could, and then you live somewhere else and you just let the rent money or the Airbnb money come in.
Pay for it. Yeah, pay for it itself.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
If you saw this yesterday, this was one of the biggest posted things on Instagram, Twitter. Michael Rubin's 4th of July party.
So he's a sports guy, but he's not a player?
Yeah, he's not a player, and this is a really
Or is
odd
he a
thing.
player?
He's not a player. He might be a player, but he's not a player. He owns Fanatics, which is like pretty much like a clothing brand. It's the only place the Hudson shops. You can buy like jerseys there.
It is not, is it?
Probably. I mean, whenever he comes in, all he's wearing is like Green Bay jerseys and hats and sweatpants. And so if you're a big sports fan, you probably have bought something from Fanatics, and he owns that.
He
And
also owned part of the 76ers.
Yeah, the
I think.
76ers.
So he's got money.
So he has a ton of money, and he threw a 4th of July party, which apparently is his annual thing. He throws a 4th of July party where, like, celebrities come, and they all dress in white. It looks
Yeah.
kind of cult-like. I don't know. It was weird seeing the photos.
Have you not seen a Hamptons party before?
But is that what they do? They all
Usually
dress in white?
in white, like for summer.
It looks weird for me. But, yeah,
You
it's a
have to be
Hamptons
rich
party.
to afford white clothes.
Yeah, apparently so. You have to be rich to even know that they have these parties. But yeah, he has a Hamptons house, $50 million. And when you see the photos of it, it's incredible because the people that are there, like, they don't really make sense that they'd be friends or that they would go to a party together. But essentially, like, every celebrity that you can imagine was at this party.
But didn't it feel like, I saw some of the photos, it feels like they go, like you go to a party and you're like, hey, you're there for the person throwing it.
Yep.
You know, like it's a much more uplifting sort of thing. This feels like a lot of people have to go to feel better.
That's what it felt
About
like.
themselves, like
That's
to
what I
push
was
themselves
thinking.
up.
Like, because when you listen to this list, like, obviously there's no way these people are friends with Michael Rubin. Like, there's no chance, but, like, because if I get invited to a party, I'm going so the person isn't upset with me that I missed it, right? Well, these people clearly were going to be on camera. I don't know. So some of the list includes Tom Brady, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Justin Bieber, Hailey Bieber, James Corden, Kevin Hart, Jack Harlow, Devin Booker, James Harden, Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck, Kendall Jenner, Joe Burrow, Lil Baby, Lori Harvey, Neo, Usher, Micah Parsons, Kelly Rowland, Corey Gamble,
They all
Dixie
sound like
D'Amelio.
friends.
These people are not
Oh,
friends.
yeah. Don't you think so? They're
Like,
BFFs.
DeMar Hamlin was there, if you remember.
He's friends with everybody.
He's friends with everybody now, I guess. Usher, Neo, and Jack Harlow all performed, I guess, at the party. They had, like, a part where they were singing, which seems weird to go from, like, being at the party to performing. And also for some of our Radio U Ohio listeners, CJ Stroud, who just got drafted, Ohio State's quarterback, somehow was there, too.
No, you don't go party. He just got drafted in?
He just got drafted a couple months ago.
Take it easy.
Seems wrong, right?
Take it easy.
How did he even get invited? He was just a college quarterback, and now
You wanna
gets to
be
hang out with
invited?
Usher. I mean, do I want to be there?
Would you, if you were trying to rank higher, like
For sure.
try to become more well known, would you spend the money to go to the Hamptons, to go to this party, to be one of all of the celebs?
I would love to have gone.
You-
I didn't get invited.
Are you
It was-
envious?
I'm so envious. It was like a $50 million house. They were talking about what they were just like hanging out, throwing the football around. OBJ was out there throwing with old Michael Rubin, which seems like he's like, I don't know. This guy just gives me the creeps kind of. Because I feel like he's throwing this party, but it seems like he just really wants to hang out with all these famous people
Well,
because he has a lot of money.
Again, that makes you feel good.
That makes him feel good. If I was him, I'd feel great because I had all these people at my party and they all showed up. So that sounds good to me.
I would just need to be someone's plus one who had a plane, who took care of the hotel room and transportation.
Because like these people don't care about money, so they can just go wherever.
Sure.
For me, this would be an expensive endeavor, but I feel like in the long run, it could pay off for me.
Okay, who wants to invite Isaiah to the next white party?
Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like, and the other thing too is I wouldn't have known to dress in all white either.
Oh, you wouldn't
They
have?
probably didn't have to even tell each other that.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
Because yesterday was the 4th of July. Everyone had a good 4th.
I think we all did.
I would hope so. I had an issue, not with the 4th, but on the 3rd.
What do you mean, on Monday?
On Monday, because that's when like the big fireworks happened where I live. And so during that time period, I think the fireworks started around like 9:30, 10 o'clock. I had been driving at that time, going to meet some friends, not to see the fireworks, but to kind of be near the festivities,
Yeah,
you know?
sure.
And as I was driving on the highway to go down where the fireworks were happening, I could see them happening on the highway. And not only could everybody else on the road clearly see them because everyone probably was going 35 on a highway that is 65 miles per hour.
I'm surprised they didn't pull over to the burb.
That's what my issue was.
Oh, is that it?
Is there was so many people that were pulled over, and I get like pulling over at like a typical spot where you can pull. If you're on like a regular street, if you like stop at a gas station,
Yeah.
whatever, you want to show the kiddos the fireworks. Is it normal to pull over on the highway?
Have you never tried to watch fireworks that way before?
On the highway?
Yeah, like say,
No.
okay, I hate the fireworks festivity stuff where
Not-
it's like
not your
it's
thing.
hot and there's
Yeah.
bugs and it's like you're just waiting hours and hours and
And I've
hours.
seen 'em.
So people will either go to drive right like 5 minutes before the start time and you just find a spot to sneak in and just watch from your car.
Yeah.
But there are people for like big city fireworks. You'll just go to the freeway and just park to the side, right? You have to time it. And then that's how you watch it.
Yeah, that's what people were doing. And I
Yeah.
was driving along. I was upset because there was just before this, someone was paying attention to the fireworks and they didn't turn left at
You
the
should've
light.
pulled
And then I
off.
got stuck at the light, and so I was already irritated. And then I get on the highway. Everybody's going 40. No one's paying attention. People are pulling off the side of the road. It just seemed dangerous to me, and I was against the whole highway watch.
It is, but it is a way around it.
Yeah, if you don't want to go down to
don't
the
wanna
craziness. Yeah, for me, I was just shocked because I had never seen the highway stoppage
Yeah.
before, where people just pulled off to the side and were watching. I was like half watching, but I was also being kind of hypocritical. Everyone who was in the car with me, I was like yelling at all the drivers who were going slow and the people that were pulled over on the side. And one of my friends in the back was like, Isaiah, you're like also watching the
Watching
fireworks. Like
them?
I can see you watching them. Like you're not really paying attention that much either. But it was just something that I was wondering if other people had seen people
yeah.
pulling over.
I would always do that, not on the freeway per se, because if you go to like your local area, it's not usually off the freeway. But I would always go and be right around the time, like, oh, are there fireworks happening?
Are they
Let
up
me
in the
just-
sky?
Right here. I'll just
Yeah.
get out and watch them real quick. And then you pull out right before they end and you
Yes.
never have to deal
and
with
then
it.
you don't deal with all the traffic and
Yep.
then it's the craziness. I mean, it's fun if you want to go to like your big city fireworks like 1 or 2 times. But yet again, when you get down there with all that stuff going on, it takes forever to leave. You never have a good spot that you want. I'll tell you what though, the highway, it was clear. Like you could clearly see the fireworks. It was a good spot to watch them. But I just didn't want the people on the side of the road. I was trying to get somewhere. I felt like I was being slowed down.
Well, that's it's a tactic. It's a way to watch fireworks without having to go and watch the fireworks at the festival thing.
Maybe next year you'll see me parked on the side of the highway.
It's not bad.
You've made it all the way to the end of the Worst of the Riot.
This show only exists because of support from listeners like you.
Find out more and help out at RadioU.com/donate.